Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome to the biggest update changelog I have ever reviewed for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Say hello to the version 1.20.30. This is a combination of all the features that were available in Minecraft 1.20 and, of course, 1.20.30. A couple of things before we get into this. I know you guys are going to ask me questions about shaders. This is what one of the Minecraft developers had to say about this. Shaders are not available in this version, not as an experiment. They are staying inside of the preview. It is still very early doors for Minecraft Bedrock Edition shaders. One more thing, you may have noticed in the official changelog, the Minecraft developers decided to use this image as their promotional art for Minecraft Bedrock 1.20.30. Now, this left the community confused because, as you guys can see, that is, in fact, Minecraft item physics. They made a big oopsie because that image is an image that was stolen from a Minecraft Java mod. Realistics, items, drops, Minecraft mods, forge. So as you can see here, the image is the exact same. Instead of Minecraft going in-game and actually taking their own picture, they stole this from Google. So no, item physics is not coming to Minecraft Bedrock Edition. They just made a mistake. They'll probably change that very soon. Just to explain to you, this is a full release and not a beta and preview. This update is rolling out right now for Minecraft on iOS, Android, Windows, Xbox, Switch, and PlayStation, but might take up to 24 hours to reach your platform. So please be patient. Guys, this has taken me hours to prepare for today's video. We're about to go through every single change that they have introduced in this update. Can we please try and get 7,000 likes on today's video? I would really appreciate it. Starting with the new features that have been introduced in 1.20.30, they have updated the You Died experience. Today, we are making some changes to the screen you see when you die in Minecraft. The camera now zooms out, so it's easier to see why you died. The hotbar is visible at all times, and you can change certain settings before you respawn. So strangely enough, let's kill ourselves in Minecraft. Let's go to /game mode S. Let's just die. As you guys can see, it is very, very different. You died. The real echo fell from a high place. We have the ability to respawn. Game menu, you can see here that we have a hotbar. Our hunger is all the way up, but our hearts are gone and we have died. Now, we're going to have to go all the way back down here real quick. So there's a couple of things you need to know about this, because if you do have add-ons on, then it's not going to work. It does say these changes are available to everyone except if you have add-ons applied. Also, the screen has limited text formatting code support, so it might look a bit different. To use the old screen, go to Settings, Video, and turn off the new You Died screen experimental. So you can turn this off. Go into Settings, go down to Video, and scroll down, and it's this one right here. So you cannot turn this off when you are in game, but you can turn this off when you're on the main menu. Let's very quickly go to the main menu. So let me show you something. If we go to Settings and we go down to Video, we scroll down a little bit here, we can turn this off. So as of right now, it's off. We are going to be using the old You Died screen, the one you've known for a very long time. But I'm not going to turn it off. I'm going to turn it on. But what I'm also going to do is use a pack that I like to use, which is going to be the totems one. As you guys know, I like to use different totems. Now, this is active, but as you guys can see, we still have the new You Died screen active. Now, this is not going to work, and I want to show you in game. If you are using any form of add-on, any form of pack, you cannot get access to the new You Died screen. Just to show you in game settings, we're going to go back down to video and scroll down. You can see it is active, but when I die, we're not going to have access to it. So game mode survival, I have died. It's the old one because I have a resource pack on. On the official changelog, the developers have said, we'd love to hear what you think about this change. Let's read the changelog. So they are looking for feedback on this. So if there's things that you like or things that you don't like, make sure you guys go and submit your feedback. The official changelog is down below, so you can do this. Bedrock players, today is a very good day because the crawling experimental toggle has been removed, and crawling under 1 block gaps is now fully implemented into the game. So in order to do this, you no longer need to have the experimental toggle enabled. Updated the camera interpolation rate when crawling to match Java edition. We have a bug report. Camera speed difference when crawling or using Riptide Parity. So if we just watch the Bedrock version prior to this, if you guys have used this, look how slow it takes you to go into crawling. The speed of that has changed. And I can show you this one. Look how fast it is. It's so much faster. It's so much better. And you can see this a lot better in the third person perspective. So yeah, that now matches Minecraft Java. Also, recipe unlocking. Recipe unlocking is no longer an experimental feature, but can still be turned on and off per world. Alrighty, let's go to /game mode S. Now, as you guys know, this is all to do with popping up on the top right. So when we break this and pick this up on the top right, it's like, hey, new recipe unlocked. Now you can actually change the speed of this. I think it's settings, accessibility. It's to do with recipe toast. So I think by default it's 3 seconds, which I think is way too fast. So I like to have mine on 10. You do /recipe and then you do take. And then you do, let's say, at P, and we do diamond, for example. I'm going to take away that recipe that I've just had, which means when I mine this, pick this back up, it's going to pop up again on the top right. We'll focus in on recipe unlocking game rule. It does say added an optional game rule for limited crafting. The game rule is only relevant when recipe unlocking is enabled. When set to true, it prevents players from crafting recipes they have not yet unlocked. It is off by default and can only be modified through the game rule command. Okay, so remember that if you want to mess around with this, if you want to limit what people can get access to, especially if you play servers or realms and you just don't want people to ruin your survival worlds. Now remember, this can actually be turned off if we go to this individual world, for example. We scroll down, recipe unlocking is there. By default, it's on in every game. Some people might not like it. Some people want to turn it off. I kind of like it, so I'm going to keep it on. A really cool quality of life feature. It's to do with the recipe book search. It says the recipe book search has been updated when playing in survival mode with the following changes. I've been smarter today and put them inside of a book. So it says the search will only match the beginning of any words in the item's name. For example, searching for TOR will now show torch and redstone torch, but not daylight detector. It's starting with TOR. Detector is ending in TOR. You're typically going to be looking for torch, right? If you were looking for a daylight detector, you'd probably type in day. Anyway, search will now work better together with the recipe unlocking system. Recipes that haven't been unlocked will show up in the search results. This change will enable experienced players to find items they are looking for, even if it hasn't been unlocked yet, while not overwhelming new players with recipes they aren't yet ready for. These changes are planned for both Bedrock and Java Edition, but they are still being tweaked, and we definitely want to hear your feedback. And just like the other thing I mentioned, they do want your feedback, and you can submit it. /game mode survival. And we go inside of here, for example, and we type in TOR. As you guys can see, it's showing torch-related items. Ironically enough, though, like it does show soul torch. It kind of knows that you are looking for torches. And if you type in DIA, it knows you're going to be searching for diamond related things. And any other item that you think is like shortened and it pops up loads of them, that's not going to happen anymore. And I also like this little magnifying glass. Was that last update or this one? Anyway, I really like this change. A really good quality of life feature. Moving on to sleeping percentage game rule. Added the player sleeping percentage game rule, allowing night to be skipped when the specified percent of players logged into a world are sleeping. So prior to this, Bedrock has always had to use add-ons for a one-player sleeping pattern. That is not needed anymore. Now, I set up a couple of signs just to explain this to you, but I did do a dedicated video on how to use this. I'll leave it down below. So setting to 0 or negative will instantly skip nighttime. Setting it to 50 equals half the server/realm has to sleep. I know you guys aren't stupid, but if there's 4 players in your realm or server and you set this to 50, 2 out of the 4 have to sleep to skip night. 100 equals everyone on the server/realm must sleep. Setting it to 101 means no one can sleep at all. And if you're really, really cruel, it is going to rain phantoms. But if we set this to 101, for example, right, I'm not going to be able to sleep or pass the day/nighttime. No amount of rest can pass the nighttime. So yeah, when you're playing with people and let's say you do have it to 50, it will say 2 out of 4 are sleeping. Or sorry, 1 out of 2 are sleeping in order to skip it. So I did do a dedicated video. Really cool commands. You no longer need add-ons for this feature. Moving on to vanilla Java parity features. Block breaking. It says, we have adjusted the breaking times of 188 blocks to match Java edition and our intended design. Some blocks couldn't be changed yet for technical reasons, and Obsidian was left unchanged because we are still deciding what breaking speed it should have. Bringing more blocks to parity makes it easier for our team to keep both versions up to date. We also hope it will be easier for the community to make and share guides that work for all players on all platforms. Now, they did leave a huge changelog about this. Let's go and check it out. At the bottom of the official changelog, it says block destroy time changes. Like they said, 188 blocks have been changed. And this is all to do with the mining speed and breaking speed of specific things. So, for example, bamboo has changed on Bedrock from 2 to 1. It can be mined a lot easier. The likes of a bell, well, it used to be 1, it's now 5. Campfires used to be 5, it's now 2. Composters used to be 2, it's now 0.6. So again, it's a lot of parity here, but they haven't decided what to do with Obsidian. They don't know if Java breaking speed is the right one or Bedrock is the right one. So obviously you're able to instantly break these, which is a really, really good one. And this is what it's like when you break it with your hands. This used to take a very, very long time to break. It's so much easier now in the latest versions. This one, I think it was longer. This is now a lot quicker to break. But as for the Obsidian, well, on Minecraft Bedrock Edition, it's so much quicker to mine Obsidian. Even if you have the likes of efficiency, it's super, super fast. On Java, this would take forever. Super long, even with efficiency. So yeah, they don't know which one they're going to go with. But judging how they always match Java, my bet is Obsidian will be Java. Moving on to parity gameplay. The Wandering Trader now trades cherry saplings. So I created this because I don't know how long this is going to take. Can we get this first try right here? Sometimes it's super annoying trying to access these guys. No sign of the cherry sapling there. And this is a really good feature for people who have pre-existing worlds and you can't find yourself a cherry biome. But like this can take a while. As you guys can see, we are spawning these in with spawn eggs. Still no sign of it, but yeah, I'm gonna do this until we actually get one that offers me it. Again, you can buy cherry logs, but let's just keep placing these down a second.
A few moments later.
I kid you guys not, it took me this long to find it. I actually placed them all over there and all over here. I probably lost that guy now, haven't I? Yeah. But you can trade for cherry saplings. Villagers are now prevented from gaining a profession when sleeping. We have a bug report. Villagers can change profession in the nighttime / during raids. This was reported back in June of 2020 and has been an issue in all of these versions. Fixed an issue. We're beginning to swim while hitting the sneak button could cause the sneak button to be held down until swimming ends. Potions are no longer thrown backwards when looking up. So with this one, as you guys know, like when you throw a potion, it should land on your head. Prior to this version, when you threw this, it would actually land like all the way over there. So sometimes if you were throwing something like this, as you guys know, if you're doing some PvP, it's really nice to throw it in the air. Some people throw it on the floor. You get a longer effect if it just always lands on you. Anyway, players would throw their potions. It would land behind them, and they wouldn't get any form of potion effect. Formation of ice and snow is now controlled by random tick. Fence gate icon model in UI and item frames now matches the fence gate block. We have a bug report. Here is the bug report, reported back in 2019. Been an issue in all of these versions. So as you guys know, this is what the icon looked like. We go across here. This is what the fences look like. They look very different in your hotbar. And here is the comparison between Bedrock and Java. Bedrock, this one had the gaps there. This didn't. This had the gaps there. And this one did. So this in an item frame is now the exact same as this. And if we type in and we go to fence, you'll see here that they now match correctly. They've now got what I'm going to call the holes and the gaps in them. Pillager outposts can now generate in the Cherry Grove biome. Fixed a bug that caused the raid boss bar to automatically deplete to 0 when a village was defeated. Witches now throw healing and regeneration potions at raiders during a village raid. I didn't even know that these were things on Minecraft Java Edition. Moving on to blocks. Fixed a bug that caused players to not be able to crawl under slabs when standing on top snow. We have a bug report. So there was a crawl parity issue, and we have crawl on Bedrock Edition. So if we just quickly watch this, this is top snow. You can't go through there. If we just quickly go back, we look at Java Edition. They try the exact same. You can actually go under it. As you can see here, this is top snow. If we stand in here, we can now go underneath it. Now, one thing you'll notice is that this layer is a little bit higher than this. If we do this one more time and place down another layer, we can't get past it. And that's linked to this right here that says top snow is now in parity with Java Edition, and each layer has a different height. So yeah, that's why that doesn't work. Doesn't matter how many I place. If we place down none, or in fact, we place down one, you can go through it. But if you place down another, you cannot. They also tweaked shulker box redstone signals to match parity with Java Edition audio. Let's read the changelog. As you can see, there was quite a lot of audio changes. To save me and you time, I didn't place them all on signs. Feel free to go and read the official changelog, but we are going to go through some of the cooler changes that happened with audio. For example, empty maps now emit the appropriate sounds when players draw on them. Listen to this. But also, nether portals now emit glass-breaking sound when their obsidian frame is broken. So if we place this like this, listen to this. And using shears to carve pumpkins now produces a carving sound like Java. Apparently it didn't previously do it on Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Like I said, there was tons of other changes available, like hoglins now have their own sound when transforming into zoglins. Listen to this. I'm going to speed it up for you. Sounds like a kind of dinosaur, doesn't it? Moving on to experimental features. Experimental trade changes. Remember I said to you there's now only one experiment available. Head into experiments. It's the villager trade rebalancing. Now, for those of you that do want to check this out, top tip, don't start a brand new world with these villager rebalance changes. This is a huge work in progress, and it's not final, and it could ruin the villages in your world. But feel free to go and mess around with it. You just need to turn on this actual toggle. Now, the changes available are only to do with the librarians. The other changes have not been introduced, and that's 1.20.40. Anyway, it says this update includes experimental changes to the Wandering Trader and Librarian Villager trades. You must turn on the experiment, which I've already explained this to you. We are trying out these changes to rebalance the villager trading system and make it more fair and fun for everyone. However, these changes are not yet final, and they will stay as an experimental feature while we continue to work on them. We still need your feedback to help us improve and decide what to do, blah, 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 blah. So this is like biome specific. Now, as you guys know, if you wanted to get a mending villager, fortune villager, looting, you would place this down, break it, place it down, keep checking the villager. Now they're locked to biomes. So for example, the plains one will always offer me the likes of, I think it's protection at the final trade. I can't remember, but what I am going to do real quick is just max these out. So we maxed out the first guy. As you can see, it's protection 3. So it'll be protection 3 every single time from a librarian inside of a plains. Punch is another one that they can offer. Smite is another one, and punch is offered there. So let's go ahead and try and max out this guy. Let's just grab this. They should bump us all the way up. That's another one there. And as you can see, it's protection 3 down there. So you cannot re-roll villages anymore to get the best enchanted books. Like I said, this is experiment, but this is something that they are basically going to be adding. And you're probably sitting there thinking, how on earth can I get a mending book now? Let me show you. We have talked about this in separate videos, but here is the spreadsheet showing you which biome you need to go to get specific villages. So in order to get mending, you now need to go to a swamp biome, heal a zombified villager or take a villager there, and fully trade with it until it offers you mending at the special book level, which is the master trade. Now, we were just inside of a plains, which is always going to be protection 3. In a jungle, you're going to have to heal a zombified villager or take a villager there to get Unbreaking 2 at the master trade. Desert will be efficiency 3. Sharpness will be Savannah will be sharpness 3. Snowy biome will offer you Silk Touch, and Tiger will offer you Fortune 2. Lucky enough for me, I'm in a jungle, so if we just fully max out this villager right here, the last one he is going to offer me, which is all the way down there, is going to be Unbreaking 2 every single time. A lot of people don't like this, but we're going to have to get used to it. Besides the librarian changes, they did change the Wandering Trader, and this is what it says. Some players felt that the Wandering Trader had unfair prices and didn't sell many useful items. We have lowered their prices and added more trades and increased the amounts available. The Wandering Trader will also now buy useful items from players, so it's possible to help them on their journey by giving them supplies, even if you don't feel like buying anything. As this is an experiment, we would love your feedback, blah, 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 blah. Wandering Traders now have lower prices and have a higher amount of each item in stock. Wandering Traders now sell logs. Wandering Traders can now buy items instead of only selling them. So some of these items are in here. This one didn't really explain it that well, but we've got some guys over here. So yeah, they can sell you logs or buy logs. Either one. Let's just double check real quick. So this guy right here, you can sell baked potatoes right there. For emeralds, you can offer a bucket of water. For emeralds, you can buy logs. I think it's, yeah, 32 at a time. What else do we got from these guys? So yeah, one of them offers, like, I think it's an enchanted pickaxe as well. We can buy that right there. We can sell him the water bottles. Only one at a time, though, strangely enough. But one of them does offer an enchanted pick. It's a little bit pricey, but it's not a bad trade. There it is right there. So you can get, I think it's efficiency. I think I've seen it on breaking one, maybe. But anyway, yeah, they're a little bit more useful in the next update, or in this update. So when you are exploring, especially in, there's another one on breaking in a pre-existing world, you might actually get something pretty useful now. Moving on to fixes and changes. Diamond ore distribution. Increased the amount of diamond ore found in the deepest parts of the world. Our goal is to make it more rewarding to mine for diamonds in the deep slate layers. So that means when you're in the negative deep slate layers, diamonds are going to be much easier for you to find in your world. I'm actually surprised that this wasn't a toggle, because honestly, when I've been doing some exploring, especially on Minecraft Java Edition, diamonds have been so much more common. It's definitely going to be a matter of opinion. I think diamonds are still pretty easy to find, but I think they've done this mainly because of the armor trims and how many diamonds people are spending in their world now. But yeah, deep slate diamond ore, they're a lot more common now. Moving on to performance and stability. Fixed a crash when entering a world with a corrupted saved chunk. Fixed a crash that could occur when the game lost focus while entering a world. Addressed out of storage errors and texture corruption on Xbox in large worlds. We have a bug report. Here is the official bug report. It's been a problem for quite some time, reported back in 2020, pretty much a year ago now. And if your game looked like this and had errors like this, it has been fixed today. Also fixed missing low disk space warning on Xbox. I used to have this on Windows as well. Fixed an issue with local network games not connecting in certain circumstances on Nintendo Switch. Fixed server becoming unresponsive when players were surrounded by ghasts stuck in lava columns. Placing one item of an item stack into a full stack of the same item no longer causes the game to crash. That was a mouthful to say. The game no longer crashes due to running out of rendering resources while entering a world through the end portal back to, and I cannot remember for the life of me what I put there. Forgive me for making a mistake. There's a lot of signs to place. Fixed worlds downloaded from realms not loading packs correctly. Moving on to gameplay. Improved mouse input to be more responsive when used on Xbox. The breathe meter now refills when swimming with head above water. We have a bug report. Here is the official bug report, and there's a video here. So you'll see here 1.20.10.23. You can see there the head is above water, but they're still losing really weird bubbles. This is 1.20 here. As you can see there, they can now breathe correctly. So obviously, when you're in water, your bubbles go down, but when you're swimming up here, apparently, like, if your head was just like looking like this, like, hold on, I gotta get this perfect. If your head was like this, like, you would begin to drown, right? Obviously, it should be when your head is below water like this, you begin to lose your bubbles and oxygen. So they corrected that. The third-person camera will no longer clip through terrain when near water or lava. Fixed creative mode players not being ignited when standing in fire. You know the meme where it says, like, everything is fine? That's what this reminds me of. But, yeah, this has now been fixed. It does say the player no longer gets forced into sneak or crawl in spectator mode. The player now gets forced out of sneak/crawl when riding things like horses, boats, etc. The player no longer gets forced into sneak or crawl during the Riptide animation. Entering flight mode in creative mode will now correctly cancel elytra flying. It says projectiles now sink into top snow just like mobs do. So if you were to throw this in here, you can see it's actually now embedded. And if we were to grab you as an example, oh, he's getting on top of it. You can see that their feet kind of slightly sink. So if we were to place down a couple more, you can see here they're kind of sinking. And that's going to be the exact same for projectiles such as tridents, arrows, etc. And then we also have the third-person camera now passes through the glass panes and iron bars. We have a bug report. Camera does not pass through glass panes, or iron bars, reported 3 years ago. So when you're looking at this, which is like basically how it's meant to be, I think this is meant to be is it a Java picture? Yes, Java. You can see the other side on Bedrock Edition. It does a close-up picture. How to test this: walk up to glass, change your perspective, and as you can see, the camera is so much better. Instead of it being like this, because like this is what it'd be like, your face would be like this, you know what I mean? But now if we move across, you can see the differences. Third-person camera no longer clips through snow, mud, and soul sand, preventing X-ray exploits. If you guys have been cheating with these blocks, it's been patched today. There was an official bug report, but they haven't given us access to it. so I can't show you how to do it. But yeah, they've fixed that. Players will no longer enter end portals when sleeping in a bed immediately below the portals. This one's quite big. The discount for curing a zombie villager no longer increases when the same villager is reinfected and cured multiple times. So one of my villagers down here. So I healed this villager. You can see the prices are 18, 3, and 1. If I was to go ahead and infect him, let's get ourselves a zombie. We should be on the hard difficulty here. If I was to go ahead and infect this guy. Oh, he's going to die, isn't he? No, he's not going to die. Yep. He's probably going to die. No, he turned. Okay. And I was to heal him again with the likes of these. As you guys know, we hit him with this and heal him. If I was to heal him, he's no longer going to offer me any cheap prices. And this is linked to the librarian chains that I was talking about. As you guys know, we would try and re-roll these. And then what you'd do is you would infect them until you got mending just down to 1 emerald. Yeah, you cannot do that anymore. Moving on to players can now toggle flying when crawling or sneaking in creative mode. Jump crouching while aiming forward and holding down the build button will no longer continue to build blocks upwards past where the player is aiming. So you guys have probably had this bug, right? When you place down tons of blocks like this, and then it'll start building all these, and you'd be all the way over here, but it'll still be building over there. Like they would just tower up randomly. Yeah, that's the bug that has finally been fixed. Changes with mobs. Wild horses, mules, and donkeys can now be tempted using a golden apple / golden carrot or enchanted apple. Llamas will be tempted by a player holding a hay bale. So let's just grab a whole bunch of these. Ain't nobody wasting enchanted golden apples, but this can now be tempted. So you can now kind of take these with you. A mule and a horse. These guys can now be tempted and follow you with these, which is nice to see. Kind of gonna steal the baby from him. Come on, let's go. So yeah, it's now a thing. Yeah, there we go. Follow me. Yeah, so it's a great way to get horses from A to B. Zombie villages now show correct professions when infected. We have a book report. Adult zombie villages use farmer texture regardless of their actual profession. So yeah, they all default to this. I know they're using a resource pack, but now they're not always going to be the same villager. They can be the likes of an armorer, butcher, cartographer, etc. Villagers killed by players no longer drop items held in their, I meant to say in their hand. So basically, right, if you were to show this guy the emeralds and you can see he's got that there. If I was to quickly change this and kill this guy, right, he could drop the actual enchanted item. Yeah, they fixed that. Camels now play the same stepping sound when walking on red sand, suspicious sand, and concrete powder blocks, as they do when walking on regular sand. Mobs can now hold and pick up Illager banner only in their main hand. Dolphins, camels, and sniffers can now have balloons attached to them. I don't have Education Edition on right now, but if you see my beta and preview the other day, you can attach it to those mobs and send them to space. Also says the following mobs will now set their target on fire if the mob is on fire when attacking. So grab all of these mobs and we do / game mode and we do survival here and we place these down. Well, not him because he's not on fire, but I'll get set on fire if those mobs are on fire. Fixed an issue with parrots facing a different position than the player when the player is inside of a boat. Blocks. Falling blocks will now break when falling onto a boat. Campfires with trail ruins are no longer lit by default. So it's a really weird bug that these ancient trail ruins would have lit campfires on Minecraft Bedrock Edition. That's no longer going to be the case. Also, pink petals can now be fertilized by a dispenser like this. Also, shulker boxes mined without a pickaxe no longer take a long time to mine. / game mode, and we go to survival and we break this with our hands. This is linked to the 100 you want to watch out there. This is linked to the 188 block changes there. Falling blocks now break and drop their item when falling on a cocoa bean. So that being an anvil, That being a gravel block and things like sand and concrete powder and other things like that. Calibrated Sculk sensors. Amethyst crystal now lights up alongside the rest of the block during its active phase. Hanging signs placed with commands now have the proper hitbox. Third-person camera no longer phases through the lower part of the composter. We have a bug report. I remember showing you this in beta, but if you third-personed while looking at the composter, you would phase through it. So now if we look at this and we hit F5, we look at the item, we're no longer seeing through the bottom third. Moving on to items. Suspicious stew no longer shows up in the creative inventory. It was there, but if you type in sus now, it's just the blocks. It was there by mistake in the previous versions. It is once again possible to use bone meal underwater on sand, dirt, gravel, and clay. Fixed held maps not being centered when playing on narrow aspect ratio screens. The correct broken state of the elytra is now rendered in item frames. We have a bug report. Wrong elytra texture in item frame and hand. Reported back in 2017. Been a problem in all of these versions as far as 1.0.0 and 1.0.2. Anyway, here is the comparison on Java. When you have broken elytra, it's broken on the item frame. On Bedrock Edition, if it was broken, it would actually show fully repaired. They finally fixed that today. Stonecutter no longer drops as an item when using the wrong tool. Pickaxe can now quickly mine piston and sticky pistons. And this just makes sense, right? Like, am I the only one who thinks this makes sense? They're mostly made out of stone-related blocks. So, of course, you should be able to mine these a lot faster. Powering and unpowering a redstone repeater or comparator no longer disrupts water flow. Crossbow loses durability when shooting, not when drawn. Sculk Vibrations. Let's read the changelog. We've been going over a lot of these Sculk Vibrations in betas and preview. There is a lot of vibration changes. Just more blocks now emit vibrations. And it's going to be a lot harder for you to avoid the warden now. So if you're interested in what has changed, the changelog is down below. Changes with realms. Fixed an issue which prevented some worlds from being downloaded from realms on PS4. Fixed a bug where repeatedly pressing escape in realm settings could remove UI or turn the screen black. Accessibility. Fixed an issue where screen narration would read recipe book folder items as the first item in the folder. Screen narration now informs the user immediately after they change sliders and toggles. Screen narration will now read the disconnected message in the game menu when opened without an internet connection. Screen narration will now read out the instruction text as well as the confirmation button in the safe area menu. Touch controls. They updated the menu HUD icons for touch controls. So if you notice that the buttons look a little bit different, that's because they are. Fixed an issue where the sneak input while flying would not work correctly with interactable blocks. The functionality of long pressing and crafting output slot on touch input has been returned to rapidly crafting single instances of the item in the output slot. The rate of item crafting when long pressing a crafting output slot has been slowed to 4 times per second, and the time needed to long press before starting the rapid crafting functionality has been reduced to 700 ms. So I know there's a lot of text there and a lot of things to understand there. So the touch controls, we have new buttons. When it comes to the long pressing, being able to rapidly craft multiple things, you can still, once again, rapidly craft multiple things. However, the game will wait a little bit longer now before it decides to rapidly craft the items for you. Because basically, have you ever tried to make one crafting table and it decides to make, like, I don't know, 40 for you by mistake and you wasted all your wood resources? It was becoming quite a problem for touch players. So they've kind of come up with this solution so they can still rapidly craft, but it's been slowed down a little bit so the game basically knows if someone's trying to rapidly craft rather than making tons of crafting tables. I hope that makes sense. Go and mess around with it. You guys will figure it out. Moving on to user interface. Let's read the changelog. Once again, a huge amount of user interface changes. Some changes are a lot smaller than others, but feel free to go and read it if you're interested in those changes. It's just to save me time and to save you time. A lot of them are just basic fixes as well. Moving on to audio. Strays now play the proper sound when firing bows. Equipment sound is now played when switching between otherwise identical armor pieces, which may have differing enchantments and /or trims applied. So what this means is, if I've got 2 diamond chest plates, one with thorns, one with mending, when I switch, it now makes the switching sound. The Trails and Tails music tracks now play in the game menu. Shields now play a sound when equipped into the offhand slot. So if we grab this, put it in here, it makes a sound. Moving on to Graphical. Added vertical sync toggle to video menu. We have a bug report. Significant input delay on devices with Render Dragon. Again, an issue in all of these versions, reported back in 2020. We know Render Dragon has caused quite a few problems for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Now, I kid you not, either I'm blind or I have no idea where this is. Apparently, it's meant to be inside of here. I've gone through every single one of these changes, and I haven't seen anything related to VSync at all. Maybe it's because I have a texture pack on. I really don't know, like, at all. So, yeah, I backed out as well, and I checked it. Maybe it's just me. I just couldn't figure out where this is. Anyway, basically, VSync is to sync your frames with the game just to get a better playing experience. Added a new experimental toggle to video menu for players on Windows, which reduces input latency. Enabling this setting will increase battery consumption, though. Now, this is in settings, and I know it's there. Go down a video, and we scroll down. It's this one right here. Improved input response. Reduces the delay between your input and what you see on your screen. This setting might use more battery power. The horizon no longer changes color when the player is standing under blocks. We have a bug report. Once again, a long time reported issue. So this is what it says here. Standing under nothing is what it looks like. When you stand under leaves, this is what it would look like. And you can see a significant difference. Basically, you would get some form of shadow. Anyway, that was fixed today. Fixed a problem where blocks rendering was not updating unless the player jumped. Cherry leaf block will now generate particle effects at a relatively large distance based on system performance. So you can see over there, you'll see the particles that they will start falling from the trees. Now over there, I can't really see them. There's a few particles in that distance, and then over there, I definitely can't see them. So depending on what platform you're on or what device you're using, particles like this can be seen over distances. As you can see, they're showing relatively well there. The further I go away, sometimes they're not there. This is just to help with each other's devices and just to make things a little bit easier. Transparent blocks viewed through an end portal will no longer be visible nor flicker. Fixed bottom face of portal effects so its color and transparency matches the other faces. Fixed screen fade when sleeping in a bed to no longer go fully opaque. Name tag rendering logic is now based on camera position rather than player position, and this is because people's names would go completely invisible. Now it's only slightly invisible. The underwater fog in Cherry Groves now uses a transition that increases visibility after a while. Marketplace. It's actually a good change. Players will now have a way to send a one-way message to Marketplace creators, offering feedback on purchased items. This feedback could be used to improve future content and changes. Basically, if you don't like something, you can tell them. If you do like something, you can also tell them. Anyway, did you finally make it this far? Let me know. Technical updates? Let's read the changelog. Technical updates. They updated add-on templates. They now match 1.20.30. We have general changes, dedicated servers, and we have commands. They introduced the /camera command. It no longer requires the experimental cameras toggle. A really good change. I might do another video on the camera command, but this can be done just using /camera. A lot of changes with the commands themselves, sounds, items. Like I said, tons of changes for the technical side. If you're interested in that, the changelog is down below. I'm not going to mess around with the command now, but it is just literally /camera, and you can mess around with positions. So you can have, like, I don't know, above head view, like the side of a third person behind, realistic stuff. And there's so many cool commands out there that you can mess around with. Anyway, hopefully you guys made it this far in today's video. If you did, I want you to leave a comment down below and just say, isn't that cow absolutely beautiful? Guys, honestly, it took me so long to make today's video. I might do a couple more breakdown videos on some of the individual changes just to help people better understand. But there is timestamps on this video. Anyway, it's been a long day / night. I'm going to go and sleep. Enjoy the video. See you in the next one. Hey, you can now book me on Cameo. Link is down below.